New tonight at 6, local law enforcement leaders meet to discuss their responses to protests and unrest and threats that have been made to their departments.
Ben Jordan shares their concerns with how officers are being viewed in our community.
Police chiefs across Milwaukee County came together to say they hear the message behind local protests and they agree change is needed in how they operate. But they also feel law enforcement is being unfairly villainized. A panel made up of local, state, and federal law enforcement leaders gathered today, starting with a discussion on their tactics at protests across Milwaukee County over the past month. Robert Hughes is a special agent in charge of Milwaukee's FBI office. He says even when just a few people incite violence at peaceful protests, police immediately change their response.
It's not that we're penalizing the people that are peacefully protesting. It's we're protecting them, because they may be the recipient of the brick to the head.
But Milwaukee Police Chief ALFONSO Morales admits mistakes have been made along the way.
We're not perfect. We've seen what didn't work on Friday. We moved by Sunday and changed our strategies.
Protesters have called for an end to police brutality against African Americans. But West Allis Police Chief Patrick Mitchell believes animosity toward officers has gotten out of control.
I see them risk their lives for complete and absolute strangers. And the thanks that they get for risking their life is to go to a 4th of July party and have their nephew or niece not talk to them because of the occupation that they chose.
Milwaukee County law enforcement leaders say they are committed to getting rid of bad cops in their departments. Sheriff EARNELL Lucas says sweeping changes to protocol will be implemented, including banning chokeholds.
We haven't executed flawlessly throughout the protests here over the course of the last month or so. But what we've done is try to do the very best so that we can not see our city be set aflame.
Arguably the biggest concern among this panel is the growing effort to defund police, and in particular, a potential 10% cut to Milwaukee's budget. Chief Morales says things that build trust, such as community outreach and body cameras, could be the first to go.
I think there's a lot of good things that have come from camera, but our contract and our funding is going to, is going to be lost. And I'm talking about the funding that paid for it. It paid for so many years in advance. So I think we're coming up on our last year. How are we going to be able to fund our cameras?
Police chiefs wanted to make it clear today that every officer receives racial bias training when they are brought onto the force. But they are now going to implement another round of implicit bias training over the next year. Reporting outside Milwaukee's FBI office, Ben Jordan, TMJ4 News.